Because I've lost that. I'll get back. Thank you all very much.
Keep the lights on.
So this is a chant that came to me this week. I am rooted to the earth. I am rooted to the earth. I am rooted to the earth. You could try that. I am rooted to the earth. I am rooted to the earth. I am rooted to the earth. I'm connected to the sky. 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 I am the strand in between. I am the strand in between. I am the strand between. Start from the beginning. Now, when we do connect it to the earth, if you can put both your feet on the ground and like try to feel the energy, like you're connected to the earth. I think you got a little bit of concrete to go through, maybe a basement, but you can do it. Okay, so feel it. I am connected to the earth. I am connected to the earth. I am connected to the earth. I am connected to the sky. I'm connected to the sky. I'm connected to the sky. I am the strand in between. I am the strand in between. I am the strand between earth and sky. Start with our feet again. See if you can feel it. I am rooted to the earth. I'm rooted to the earth. I'm rooted to the earth. I am connected to the sky. I am connected to the sky. I am connected to the sky. I am the strand in between. I am the strand in between. I am the strand between earth and sky. Now we'll do all three in order, just once. I am rooted to the earth. I am connected to the sky. I am the strand in between. I am rooted to the earth. I am connected to the sky. I am the strand in between. It came to me because I was standing in my room feeling totally 100% overwhelmed. Like, how am I going to get through my day? And so I just stood there for a moment and kind of, it came to me. It's like, okay, I'm standing on the ground and okay, like there's the whole sky above me and I am this strand. That like, it's kind of how it all works, right? Our spirituality comes from the earth and our connection to things that are broader than us, and that is that strand in between. But we can also think about our work as the strand in between, like VIP. In between abuse and healing, between the crisis and the resolution, between powerlessness and agency. Without further ado, we will hear more. Thank you.
I really like the idea of us being an in between because I think it's so
and I'll get into more later, and I don't want to repeat myself, but we are peoples in between sometimes. They might not want to leave or know that they can leave their abusive relationship, and they get to us and they're just in this limbo for a really long time until they learn that they have the strength to do what they need to do. So
Can you speak a little louder? I don't, Heidi, can you hear okay? Heidi?
I can be louder.
Yeah, because you're outside.
I'll use my Italian voice.
There you go.
What used to get me in trouble in high school is gonna come to save us. Okay. I like having something on the screen because it gives you something else to look at other than me. But we are Victims Intervention Program. I know I was lucky enough to be here in June. I also saw our old director's picture in the back on a little thing, Michelle Wolf. So it just tells me that we've been connected for a really long time. We've been the strand in between each other's spirits and work for a really long time, which is really cool. Is there anybody who doesn't know what VIP is? That's okay. That's good. Everybody else knows because they were here last time. So we are Victims Intervention Program. We just try to go by VIP as often as we can. And we are a nonprofit in Wayne and Pike counties that helps victims of crime and abuse. That's everything from domestic violence to human trafficking to sexual violence, child abuse, all of the really terrible things that somebody can go through in life. Our people are here to help them. So our mission statement, try to get this down. Our mission statement is, it used to be this nice long paragraph that you see on the screen that I'm not going to read to you, but we have condensed it to 3 words: educate, empower, and envision. And you actually wrote a really beautiful chant the last time I was here, incorporating those 3 words. We're here to educate the community about our work and what we do, empower victims and survivors to make choices that are best for them and their family without trying to please everybody around them. And we invite everybody to envision a world that's free of violence and abuse. I can't make it back. So what do I want to say here? I'm going to get more into the services that we offer, but I think a lot of people assume that we're here to fix everything, and that's not always the case. We are here to empower people, and sometimes I don't know that people understand what empowerment really entails. And when we do everything for you, it means you're not learning anything. You're just having it done for you. So our empowerment model, sorry, there's like so many little pop-ups on my screen and I don't think you're on that. We're here to listen. We're not going to be able to work miracles. We're here to help people discover what they're feeling, but not make everything go away. Here to help people find their options, identify what's available to them, but not take the steps for you, lead a horse to water, so to speak. Helping people discover their strengths, but not rescuing them and leaving them still vulnerable afterwards. Find your strength and use it. Here to help people discover that they can take care of themselves, but we're not going to take care of you. And help people learn how to make a choice, because so many people that come to us have never been allowed to make choices for themselves before. And that is a terrifying thing to do. If you've gone your whole life, your parents have made choices for you, and then you find yourself in a relationship where you don't have a choice in anything, at 45 years old, 50, 60 years old, how do you learn how to make choices? It's really scary. So we want to help people learn to trust themselves. And we're here to provide support for change. People that come to us, something has to change within their life. They might not know exactly what it is yet, but we want to help them discover it and help them take the steps that are going to lead to change. So who do we actually serve? I already said this: victims of crime and abuse. People who are suffering through domestic violence, sexual violence of any kind, whether that happened in childhood or adulthood. human trafficking, stalking, child abuse, elder abuse, intimate partner violence in later life, which is different than elder abuse. Can get into that later if you want. Or any other crime that you can think of, something that is man-made that has a really traumatic effect on a person. Our staff are qualified and trained intensely to work with. We provide services for everybody. All survivors of any gender, of any religion, of any political status, socioeconomic status, we are just here for people. The only people we will not serve are the offenders. We can help find somewhere else for you, but it's not us. Speaking of which, we do offer services in the prison. We do, but not to offenders. So we find that most people who are in our groups in Wayne and Pike County Correctional Facilities have been victims themselves, whether they were children and something happened and it just led them down a wrong path and nobody was there to course correct. And now they're in jail, or something happened later on in life. But we find that most of the people that come to our groups were victimized and just nobody supported them through it. So hopefully we are also preventing people from becoming criminals in the future. The one thing, if you remember anything about our services, I just want you to remember that they are free and they are confidential. And especially in today's world, I really like to hone in on confidential, because whether the police come or a nurse or the district attorney comes to us and says, hey, have you been working with Mary Sue? I can't confirm or deny. People cannot come into our shelter. They can't come into our building. They can have a warrant to come in, but we are trained to read through warrants and make sure that they are actually allowed on our premises, and it includes everything. Because if they come to our office and say, we have a warrant to check your office, you don't have a warrant to check our shelter. And we are going to make sure that we're doing everything we can to protect the people who are in our shelter and who are receiving services from us. Where are we actually located? It's confidential, can't really tell you, but I can tell you that we are in Honesdale and Milford, and we serve everybody. So while we're in Wayne and Pike counties, if there's somebody from Orange County, New York, or Sussex County, New Jersey, I mean, I live in Sussex, New Jersey. It is 6 minutes for me to get to our Milford office, while it would be 45 minutes for me to get to Daisy, which is the office serving Sussex County. So if somebody's in that area, they need some help, they want to talk to somebody. Abuse doesn't change from state to state. The tactics are the same, the patterns are the same, our services are the same. The only time that might get a little tricky is if we're talking about legal services. That obviously is going to change from state to state. And we offer our services, our counseling services, virtually or in person. And we also have a team that goes into the school districts, and they can work with children on site in school so that those kids don't have to come home from school, get put in a car, rushed over to our office for another 45-minute session. They can just see us at school, go home, and enjoy the rest of their day. So what do we actually do? I like to break our services down into 2 different categories. We have our 24-hour services and we have our office hour services. So 24 hours a day, 7 days a week, 365 a year, we operate a crisis hotline. And that is answered by a live person all the time. So anybody who is experiencing a crisis, whether it be 2 a.m. on a Tuesday or Christmas morning or a Saturday afternoon, they can pick up the phone and call us, and somebody is going to answer and be able to help them. We offer our counseling through our hotline, can be 24/7, but we offer sessioned counseling in our office Monday through Fridays. We have a shelter, a safe house for pets and for humans, which is really exciting. Though they are 2 different buildings, we know that leaving your pets behind is sometimes the biggest barrier for people to leave a dangerous relationship. So we want to make sure to break every barrier down that we can, especially if pets are being used in a situation to keep somebody in a home. We want to make sure the pets are safe too. We offer legal and medical accompaniments we have a really, really wonderful relationship with Wayne Memorial Hospital. So if there is a victim who's coming into the emergency room after a sexual assault, or they're brought there for physical injuries after a domestic violence incident, the hospital workers know to call us immediately, and we have anybody who's on call or any advocate in our office who is available, we get up right away and we just go, no questions asked, and we meet that victim in the emergency room to provide crisis counseling if they need it, to walk them through all of their options, whether that be a protection order, do they want to file charges if they were sexually assaulted? What does it look like to have a forensic rape exam? Because that is really terrifying. And our staff is trained to know exactly what happens, what their rights are, and to help them understand it in a moment of crisis. We do have several groups that run in our offices, and we also offer groups at the school. So our child counselors are so busy during the year, we barely even see them because they are in the schools. They are working out of our office in the school systems, running groups and counseling sessions throughout the day for students. So we have a healing art group, which is really wonderful on Friday afternoons. It's been like the same 4 women that come for the past year, and they run themselves at this point. They literally will come and let themselves into their art room, and they work on their projects. They decide what they want to do, but they formed a community network of women who have survived, who have flourished, and they help each other through the hard things. Because even if your abuse has ended a year or 2 ago, it doesn't just go away. It still sticks with you. It still wakes you in the middle of the night. It still creeps into your living world. So having that connection with each other has been really powerful for our art group women. And we offer an array of different legal services. We have legal advocates in both offices that help people file protection orders, which if anybody has ever had to go through that process, it is not user-friendly. Especially in Pike County, it's like a 36-page packet that you have to fill out before 11:30. And if you're filing on behalf of your children too, they each need one of the 37-page packets as well. So it can be a 3 to 4 hour process, all legal jargon that nobody knows how to read through, scan through, dot your I's, cross your T's. It's really, really hard. So our legal advocates are specifically trained to fill those out and help people go through the process. We also accompany them to court so they don't have to go alone. Filling it out is just step 1. Going into a courthouse that you may have never stepped foot in, depending on who's at the front door and what sheriff officer is greeting you, they can be helpful, they might not be. So you might ask, where's the courtroom? And they just say it's upstairs. Oh, I don't see any stairs. Is there an elevator? Where do I go? There's 3 courtrooms upstairs. Which one do I go to? Our advocates can help them navigate the simple things that nobody thinks about. Because yeah, we filled out the paperwork, but now what? Where do I go? And just having somebody in their corner, because the judge talks fast. The judge says the same things 40 times a day, and I think sometimes lose a little bit of their humanity as they're saying it. They get no fault of their own. They become robotic. So when they're telling you what they're granting and what they're not, you're in the middle of a crisis, you're standing up in front of a judge who's on this big stage with a podium, and there's sheriff officers on every side. There might be other people in the courtroom with you that you don't know. You just might not understand what they say. You might not hear it. The blood is rushing in your ear. So our legal advocates can talk it through, help people process and explain the outcome of their hearings to them afterwards. And in certain cases, we're able to offer free legal services, like a lawyer to represent somebody for a protection order. And we have a program called Civil Legal Representation, which again, very limited circumstances because our funding is very limited and we still need to pay this lawyer because it's their job, they need to get paid. But they can help people with filing for divorce, child custody, spousal support, any other step that's going to help a victim attain freedom. Just to talk a little bit more about our children's program. So we currently have 4 child counselors that cover both counties. We only have 1 in Pike County. And she's like a superhero because I think she has 7 schools to cover. And she has the highest caseload out of anybody working at VIP. She has about 65 clients at any given time. She is busy. When I tell you we don't see Stacy during the school year, I mean, I could not tell you the last time I saw her face because she doesn't even come into the office. She goes right to school and then goes to a different school and then goes to a different school every single day. But that's pretty telling of how many kids in our community need us, right? So we have our 4-person team that cover 2 counties. It's 5 different school districts, 24 schools. If a child needs services in this school, it does have to run through the guidance program. So a parent or a school teacher, school counselor might realize this child is going through something. They might need a little additional support, and they will send a permission slip home, and the parents have to sign off for us to be able to see a child in the school. Children can come to our office. If they can find a ride to get to us, mom and dad, careful how you say this. Children are covered under the same type of confidentiality that adults are. So if a child finds their way to us, I'm thinking a 16-year-old child finds a ride to our office, starts seeking services, and is counseling with one of our child counselors, and somebody calls and say, hey, are you seeing my son? I can't confirm or deny. We are mandated reporters, so if this child comes to us and they are disclosing abuse, we absolutely will report that, and we will make them part of the process so they can hear what we're saying, they can see what we're reporting, and we explain that to them before they even start counseling, but they have absolute confidentiality just like any adult would. I'm gonna skip this because I already kind of talked about it a little bit. So our outreach program, that's me. So we have our direct services, we have our children's services, our legal services, and then another huge part of what we do is outreach and education, because this is how people learn about us. These type of topics, domestic violence, sexual assault, they don't enter your mind until they enter your life. So nobody really thinks about VIP until they need VIP or somebody they know needs us. And the worst time to be Googling crisis centers is when you're in the middle of a crisis. That's why our outreach is so important, because you may never need us, but chances are, not even chances, you know somebody who needs us. You just might not recognize it yet. And now you've met me, you've heard of this. So in a year or two and something happens, in the back of your mind, you know that a program already exists, and it's so much easier for you to find us, for you to get people connected with us. That's why this work is really important. So we offer professional trainings, something like this with a PowerPoint on a screen, or just a discussion with another group of professionals who are like our partnered allies about VIP, about domestic violence, about sexual assault, about child abuse, how to work with children who have been abused, how to connect with other adults who are having issues, how to make your workplace more trauma informed. Anything that you can think of that sort of kind of maybe relates to our work, I promise you we throw something together for it. We do a lot of awareness events and projects, especially coming up. April is Sexual Assault Awareness Month, so we run a lot of campaigns and events throughout the month. We do like a more concentrated effort on outreach during those special months. So we have our Take Back the Night event, which highlights several, I think we have 4 survivors speaking at this event this year who are telling their story, who are sharing messages of hope with one another. Our district attorney is going to speak about, I don't know if anybody follows the news or if anybody's from Pike County, but there have been a lot of child sexual abuse cases happening that our district attorney is on top of. So he is going to be there to speak a little bit about that. We run social media campaigns because that seems to be how most people are getting their news and staying connected with one another these days. We work with our local businesses on Main Street and Broad Street, just trying to make sure that the community knows that we're around so that when something happens, because it will, they know how to get people to us. We also have a medical advocacy project. So we have one medical advocate in our agency, and her only job is to bridge the gap between victim service providers and healthcare professionals. Because most of the time, those professionals are the first person somebody will disclose abuse to, whether it's their primary care doctor, their dentist, if their teeth have been knocked out in a fight or during an assault. Any person that has a medical degree, we want them to know about us, and we want them to have a concrete plan to help people connect with VIP should they need us. And like I said, we run our social media a lot. So if you have social media, please follow us, because it's the one way that people find out about us is seeing their friends or family share our story, share our posts, something along those lines. So how can you get involved if you want to? We love our volunteers. I don't have words that will express how much we value our volunteers because we work in trauma all day long. And then when we answer our hotline, we have to answer calls in the middle of dinner, in the middle of the night, and then wake up and go dig into somebody else's trauma the very next day. And it's really, really a lot, and it causes a lot of burnout through our staff. So having volunteers who answer our hotline, we train you. There's a lot of training that goes into it, but it's pretty worth it. Right now, we only have 3 people right now that are hotline volunteers. We used to have more, and they all just at the same time, we say retired, because I mean, these were people who were doing it for 20 plus years. Like they worked with VIP longer than I've worked with VIP as volunteers, which is really incredible. But they would take shifts, even 4:30 p.m. to 9 o'clock p.m. every Tuesday. That's Doreen's shift. So whatever staff is on call knows that on Tuesdays, they get to go grocery shopping and they can maybe go to the gym and they can have dinner with their family without worrying about where their phone is or are they next to their computer. Is somebody going to call? No, you get 4 or 5 hours of just you time. And then you're back on the clock and then you go to work all week. And it's just a revolving cycle. So just those little bits of time that people are willing to give really helps our staff. It really, truly does. We have volunteers that help with outreach efforts. It's not often that volunteers will do these type of presentations because you never know what kind of questions are going to come up. But we do a lot of information tables at community-wide events, and we have a really dedicated volunteer that helps with that because otherwise it's just me. And I'm one person, and there are like 3 different events happening on Saturday, April 26th, and I can't be in 3 places at once. I also have a toddler, so I really like my Saturdays where I get to just be mom instead of be Chelsea from VIP. So Michelle is really helpful when it comes to tabling. She picks up our table, she picks up our stuff, she sets up a beautiful table, and she tells people what we do when they come up and ask. We also are always looking for people to do fundraisers, like you guys did, which we didn't even know about and is really amusing, so thank you. Because I know we're all aware of what is happening and what funds might be being cut, and while we are still operating on our total budget, that might not be true in a few months, in a few years. We don't really know. So fundraising and donations has always been critical to nonprofits, all nonprofits. So please, if you're going to donate, if you're going to spend your money, make sure it's going to a good cause. And we're always looking for board members, especially if you live in Pike County, because we don't have any board members from Pike County right now. And we really want to expand our reach there. Okay. That's it. There's a lot of, I know it's a lot of information in a really short amount of time, but I'm happy to answer any questions that you might have. If I didn't elaborate enough on something. Yeah.
Where do your funds come from?
Great question. So we have 3 big funders. The Pennsylvania Coalition Against Domestic Violence, the Pennsylvania Coalition to Advance Respect, which was, up until a few months ago, the PA Coalition Against Rape, and the Pennsylvania Commission on Crime and Delinquency. Those are our state level funders who also get federal funding, and then they pass it through to each county. So while we don't get direct federal funds, we get what's called pass-through funds from the Department of Human Services and Housing and Urban Development, because we run our housing program. And we know that the #1 cause of homelessness for women in America is domestic violence. So they put a lot of money into programs like ours through HUD. Because we need it, because we as people need it.
Not necessarily a question, but when I used to live out near Las Vegas, there was a group, a similar group out there called Safe House.
Yeah.
And one of the things that they did was also help training women to get back into the workforce.
Oh.
Yes. And when my mother died, they did something I thought was very noble. I had all of her clothing available, and so they have a program so that if you donate women's clothing, they can alter them or retailer them for women re-entering the workforce.
Oh, that's really cool. We have something similar, I'll say. We have like two partnerships that kind of sound similar to me.
Yes.
One, we're really close with Wayne and Pike Workforce Development or Career Centers. So when we have people who are ready to go back to work or are looking for a job, we hook them up because they are the experts in job hunting and resumes. I'm not. So we definitely try to connect them. And I know at least in Pike County specifically, because I've worked there for just 9 years, so I feel like I know everything that they have. Their career center does have a program where people can donate professional clothing for interviews, for new jobs, scrubs and stuff like that for people going into the medical field.
Right.
So we'll connect them there. But we also work with a few thrift stores in the area where
Yes.
people can donate clothes and say, this is on behalf of VIP. And then that store gives VIP a credit. And then we can send our survivors to shop for themselves because it's so much nicer than saying, here's a sweatsuit that's a size too big, but it's all we have. And it's in the color that you absolutely hate. So now they can go and they can shop for themselves, kind of get their own style back. They can shop for their children and get things that their kids like. If they love Bluey, if they love Cocomelon, whatever it might be, get the sweatshirt for school, get the shoes in their size. And it gives them back some autonomy too, because some of the people that come in have never been allowed to shop for themselves. They've never been allowed to handle money. So that's part of our program too, is helping people understand how to budget, understand what their bills are and how to even pay those bills. And do you have an account with the Pike County Electrical? Like, do you know? How can we make sure that you are up to date? So it's similar, not exactly the same, very similar. And I like that you brought up there's a place in Vegas.
Well, I think it's,
Yeah.
I think it's about it, yeah.
Yeah, there's programs like us in every single county throughout the United States, because the stuff we deal with, it's an epidemic. We have programs because we have the people, which means we have the funding.
Also, Safe House, they got their name because dealing with the spouses, they also have a number of safe houses scattered around the valley.
Yeah.
When they do have their own main office, but they have safe houses which are not marked. There's no signs out front, and when you can go there for training or rehabilitation or just talking with other people.
Yep, we have that too. We have a safe house, which can hold it. We get really creative. So sometimes you have like a family of 7 come in, and what are we going to do? What are we going to say? Like, oh, pick 5? No. So we roll cots out. We make it a camping experience for the kids if we have to. We make it work. And when we don't have room in our actual shelter, we have funds set aside so that we can put people into hotels.
Yes.
Sometimes that's only a night or 2, but sometimes that's all they need. They might have family out in Nevada that they just want to get to, but they can't go tonight. It's 2 a.m. So let's get you some sleep, get you some food, and then we'll figure out how to get you to Nevada tomorrow morning, Monday morning, whatever it might be. Yeah.
Which specific thrift stores in our area?
In Lords Valley, there's Redress. I don't know if anybody's from that area, like near Hemlock Farms. She's fairly new and just signed on. And then in Honesdale, the Other Shop.
The other shop.
And they have their Holly location too. So and we used to work with Mommy and Me, but I think we just kind of like let that partnership go. We weren't getting good reviews. I think a few times we've sent people in and they like weren't credited anything. So you're like, we just don't want to send somebody somewhere and then have it be a more traumatic experience for them, which it's already traumatic. It's already kind of stigmatizing for you to go in and I'm a VIP client. Can I, like, here's the card, credit them for it. So I just didn't want to let our clients do that anymore. So yeah, the Other Shop and then Redress. Any other questions? Yeah.
I have a question. I'm online. Can you hear me?
Yes, I can. Can't
Okay.
see very much.
Yeah, you can't see me, but you can hear me. When you have somebody long-term and you're helping to pay their rent, how long do you allow that to go on?
Good question. I don't know that I actually talked about this program, but we have federal funds through the Rapid Rehousing Program through HUD, and it allows us to help people who are homeless due to domestic violence find a place to live for up to a year. Sometimes we can go a little bit longer because sometimes people don't need us for a full year. Sometimes they only need 9 months worth of rent before they're able to do it all on their own. Sometimes they need 13 months, sometimes 14. So it's really case by case, but we do have, currently, we have those funds. Mhm.
Well, are you concerned about those funds?
I'm sorry?
Are you concerned about those funds continuing?
Sometimes, yeah. I think we're just in such a world of uncertainty that we're always a little nervous that things are gonna go away. That's not necessarily new for nonprofits. There's been times where funds throughout, I've been working in this field for 10 years. And there have been, I can't tell you how many times that there have been funds frozen because at the state level, at the federal level, because people are fighting and they're like, we're just not gonna work today. And then they don't necessarily understand how that trickles down and affects everybody else who lives in their area, the people that voted for them, the people that did not, the people that just are trying to live. So yeah, we have some nerves around it, around HUD funding being cut and that directly affecting us and our clients. But I will also say that we have a really wonderful and savvy fiscal manager who has learned a lot since COVID, and we've been squirreling away when we can and using our funds very wisely and making sure that we're allocating them in the best, most conservative ways possible so that we have a fallback plan.
I was intrigued.
Hold on, sorry, she had her hand up before too.
Question about, do you know, does your organization or any organization you know of take in like household things? I hear about clothes, I've got curtains, I've got dishes, I've got
Yeah,
stuff that, you know, I don't want to throw away.
yeah,
You
I
know?
hear you, yeah. There is,
I refer.
we have a good relationship with Habitat for Humanity in
Okay.
Pike County.
Wasn't very big back.
They are wonderful, and they've actually built some houses for some of our clients, like they've been with us in shelter and then in our rapid rehousing, and I mean, if anybody is holding up their own
Before
household.
when I lived in New Jersey, but I'm up here now, so.
Yeah, where in New Jersey?
I lived in Sussex County, I lived in Sparta.
Oh, okay, so Daisy had, Morning Glory, which is a thrift shop where you could donate anything,
Yeah.
lamps, jewelry, whatever, and they just had this awesome thrift shop that was run by volunteers, and they would, all of those funds there, whether you shopped or not, came back to Daisy, and then they could also send their clients there.
The other shop
What a genius
takes those
dream.
kind of things as well.
Does it?
The other
Okay.
shop, the one on home sale, one in Holly, yeah.
Oh, in Pike County, it's so much, they're good, they just don't fit money out.
Yeah, right.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Because if
And
you don't have a.
Unfortunately, because we're just small offices, people want to donate. It's so hard to say that like, we don't want your donations, because we do, but then I end up sitting on boxes full of curtains and lamps and shoes and stuff, because we have nowhere else to put it. It's literally stuffed under our desks.
You mentioned the other shop will take that kind of stuff, will they give you credit for that, so the.
Yep, so they give us like a,
Convert that toaster into clothing?
yeah, they'll give us like a monetary donation. So if you're donating a toaster that might be worth $15, they'll put $15 in VIP's name, so that when we send somebody over, it's just $15, whatever works for them, whatever they need.
I was just intrigued about the 65 children in the Pike County school system. Is that Delaware Valley?
So we have the two school districts, Delaware Valley and, no, because Walpole's
East
considered
Stroudsburg's
Wayne.
part of that.
East Stroudsburg, that's it. East Stroudsburg, no.
So 65 in those two districts.
Mhm.
Is that high or is that not what it is?
It's hard because we have so many schools. There's 2 elementary schools in Delaware Valley alone, then there's the middle schools, and then there's high schools. And then
But are they part of some team? I mean,
there's 3 in,
I guess so.
East Stroudsburg. So what, 7, 8 schools total? I
Oh,
mean,
that,
it's
8
high.
schools,
It's a lot.
65, that's 8 kids in every school.
Mm-hmm.
That's a lot.
It's a lot. It is.
And that's pretty much normal.
Yeah.
How many families with that? Some of them,
Some of them are siblings, true. I honestly, I don't know. That number I definitely don't have. But,
Good point.
yeah, some are, and some of them are, like, we see the whole family. Maybe mom and dad come in for services and the kids are seen at school. And the kids that we see don't have to be the direct victims. No, we don't only see victims. We will see significant others or anybody that's affected by a crime. So if you witness your neighbor be murdered, let's say, I know that might be really extreme, but like we've had 3 murders in Pike County in this year alone. Somebody saw it happen. That's really traumatic. We can help those people process what they saw, learn how to move forward, learn how to ground themselves when they're having nightmares, whatever it might be. It's affecting them, we can help. So in some cases, the children weren't direct victims, but maybe mom was, and they watched it happen. They know something's wrong, their family's going through something, and our team can help them understand that too. And most of what we do with kids is just talking about healthy relationships because they've never seen one in their life. So we want to make sure they understand that what you're seeing at home isn't normal and it's not what your relationships have to be. What you're seeing on TV isn't normal. Your relationships should not model those, and just helping them understand fact and fiction.
Great.
Anything else? Tom has my email, so even if there's questions that come up after, shoot them my way. I love talking about VIP. I literally get paid to do it, so I can talk all day long. If you have questions later on, I have brochures I put them out in the back, some brochures, so please, before you leave, take 1 or 2, just put them in your car, keep them in your bags. You never know when they're gonna come in handy. So please, remember us, call us if you need us.
Put it in the post office.
Now we're going to take concept and make it real by presenting to you. I need a photographer.
And thank you. This was a really nice surprise when Tom emailed me. He was like, we have $1,000 for you. You do?
Give money. Anyway, thank you so much on behalf of the fellowship and healthy relationships. We're really happy to have your work.
I'm gonna lay down and do that again. I'm not sure how that's going to
Oh, here we go. My word.
Well,
Well, eat some more.
Does anybody else want to get on the picture?
The picture.
No? Okay.
Oh,
Yeah,
well,
you don't have to, you talk about the clutter in round.
yeah, yeah.
Okay,
Come on,
Nice,
right,
right.
Anyway, and we really do, right, together, we can say this, we really support all of your work.
I can
That
tell.
you do.
It's very noticeable. So thank
Yeah,
you very
yeah,
much.
so good deal. Thank you. Thank you so much.
Thank you so much.
They are the in-between, right?
Yeah.
Like, they're the in-between in terms of groups, they're the in-between in terms of moving people from helplessness to agency, powerlessness to agency. And in one sense, that's kind of the message, the bigger message for all of us, how can we actually be the in-between in anything that, right, in the moment that we're experiencing. Maybe it's something as simple as, trying to hold space for people to calm down or to use humor or whatever. We have this opportunity in personal places, in public places, and in policy kind of places to really push this idea that we are agents of the in-between liminal, that space where we wait, between moments, events, results, action, no action, to stand on the threshold, waiting for something to end and something new to arrive, a pause in the rumble of time. Awareness claims us, alert, a shadow of something different. In between invitation and acceptance, in between symptom and diagnosis, in between send and receipt of inquiry and question, in between love given and love received. Quick closing chant. We'll do I am refreshed. I'm refreshed by the circling of the earth. I'm refreshed by the warmth of the sun. I'm refreshed by the breath of the wind in the trees. I'm renewed and refreshed by love. I'm refreshed by the circling of the earth renewed. I'm renewed by the warmth of the sun. I'm renewed by the breath of the wind in the trees. I'm renewed and refreshed by love. I'm renewed with the circling of up. I'm renewed with the circling of the earth, warmth of the sun. I'm renewed by the warmth of the sun, breath of the wind. I'm renewed by the breath of the wind in the trees. I'm renewed and refreshed by love. One more time. I'm renewed with the circling of the earth. I'm renewed by the warmth of the sun. I'm renewed by the breath of the wind in the trees. I'm renewed and refreshed by love. I'm renewed and refreshed. I'm renewed and refreshed. Again. I'm renewed and refreshed. One more time. I'm renewed and refreshed. Last time, by love. I'm renewed and refreshed by love. I'm renewed and refreshed by love. I'm renewed and refreshed by love. So we can extinguish our chalice. These are the words by Carl Seaberg, the Unitarian Universalist minister, and was a former, the late Carl Seaberg, and was the editor of UU World, which is the magazine of the Unitarian Universalist Association. And he writes, between dawn and dusk, between the dawn and dusk of our being, let us be brave and loving. In our little passage through the light, let us sustain and forward the human venture in gentleness, in service, and in thought. Amen. We have coffee and treats in the back. Yes. Casual conversation and fellowship.
And then I'll take you to breakfast. And then I'll go buy
Nice
some
and hot.
One for the
It is really nice.
I'm gonna go to the.
Yeah, sadly, they're not refillable.
That was introduced.
Oh, I know.
I have sourdough.